Hey guys, JJ here. Now before we get into the video, I just want to say if you haven't already, check out my last video on my new channel, JJ vs. Games. It's a Let's Play video of Mad Max the video game. Thank you, let's get right into the video. Now, what is the Elder Scrolls 6 location videos and where has this series been? Why is it on episode 3? Now this is a series I started back in April, however, I stopped doing it simply due to the fact of the popularity that was growing for the things we want in Elder Scrolls 6, but the popularity for that series has been drastically decreasing lately. I've been getting less comments, less suggestions, less views, less likes, and I decided what is something I can do that my subscribers would like just as much as that series that has to do with the Elder Scrolls, so we have more Elder Scrolls 6 related content on the channel. Well, why don't I bring back this series of where is the Elder Scrolls 6 location. So this is a series where I go over different countries in the continent of Tamriel, and I go over 4 categories per video when I talk about that country: landscape, people, a little bit of history, and story for the Elder Scrolls 6. Landscape. Hammerfell is a pretty large country. Its size is similar to that of Skyrim, however its land is the opposite. Unlike Skyrim's snowy, mountainous, and extremely cold region, Hammerfell does have mountains as well. However, unlike Skyrim's cold, snowy country, Hammerfell is filled with grasslands and a vast open desert. It's located on the western side of Tamriel, right next to and bordering High Rock, Skyrim, and Cyrodiil. Now, one of the most interesting places that I personally would like to explore in the Elder Scroll game about Hammerfell would have to be the Alik'r Desert, which contains many ancient technologies and buried ruins, specifically Dwemer buildings, weapons, and tools. One place in specific would have to be the ancient Dwemer city, Volenfell, which is an extension of Hammerfell in the old Dwemer cities though. Some regions of Hammerfell include Craglorn, Stros Mackay, Ben Korai, and of course there's many other regions and cities just besides that, but those are 3 that really stand out. The people of Hammerfell. Hammerfell is home of the Red Guards. Now the Red Guards originally came from Yukuda, which unfortunately for them was destroyed. It sunk under the sea. Now, I'm not trying to racially profile or anything against the Red Guards, but they're mostly known for being mercenaries, sailors, and those who seek adventure. They like to go out and they like to seek adventure. They like to fight, they like to do all this courageous stuff. Their people mostly deal in trade, and most of their population can be found in trade cities as well as great ports. Of course, there are many poor towns and cities scattered throughout the country as well as poor farms and other places like that aren't really very well established when it comes to economy. A little bit of history of the country of Hammerfell. Hammerfell was claimed by the Dwemer Roken clan in the First Era in the year 420, and was called the City of the Hammer, aka Volenfell. But in the year 700 of the First Era, the Dwemer race suddenly disappeared all throughout Tamriel, including those who lived in Volenfell. 92 years later, after the sinking of the country Yukuda, the Yukudans came to Volenfell, later renaming it as Hammerfell, still basically having the same meaning of the name, the City of the Hammer, where the hammer fell, aka Hammerfell. The Yukudans later became known as Red Guards. Eventually the country was conquered by the Second Empire. Now skip ahead in time to the Third Era. The Thalmor tried to take over Hammerfell, which at the time was under control of Emperor Titus Mede II. Now after Titus refused to the Thalmor's proposals, this is actually what started the Great War in the Fourth Era, year 171. This is the war that we've heard so much about in the previous Elder Scrolls games that basically led the Thalmor to take on the Empire. Originally, the Thalmor were only interested in Hammerfell, but later realizing that Cyrodiil wasn't really as, big in their army and as strong as they had thought, they eventually launched a full-scale invasion of Cyrodiil, starting the Great War, when it realized the Empire was weaker than previously believed. Now in the year of the Fourth Era, year 175, the Empire and Dominion signed the White Gold Concordat and ended the war. However, one of the agreements was that the Thalmor would be given a large portion of Hammerfell, which of course led the Red Guards to refuse, which made it official. Titus II had to renounce Hammerfell as an imperial province to preserve the peace between the Dominion and the Empire. So of course, now Hammerfell as its own country would have to take on the Dominion and keep the fighting going on for another 5 years. The year 180 of the Fourth Era marks the Second Treaty of Stros Mackay, which ended the fighting between the two. So Hammerfell is actually no longer a part of the Empire and its own nation. Believe it or not, a lot of people who play the games actually don't know this, even though it's so obviously said in the games and the lore books and sites online. This is just some history on the Hammerfell. If you want to know more stuff, you can find it online, or you can watch channels that literally just go hours on hours talking about the lore. Story for the Elder Scrolls 6. If the story of the Eldamarian Dominion still trying to take control over everything and having spies everywhere like they did in Skyrim, then this would be the perfect setting, seeing as Hammerfell and the Dominion have such a rich history filled with war and death. Now another huge rumor that's been going around when coming to the Elder Scrolls 6 is that it will involve the Dwemer. Now, the Dwemer actually originally had Hammerfell, Volenfell, so this would actually add even more stuff into the lore and history of the Dwemer race living in Hammerfell. That's why I think this would be a good example of what we can expect in this game. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and if you enjoyed the video, give me a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, as well as check out the Things We Want series. So thank you guys all later, peace.